friends, it is story time. We are wrapping up our YouTube videos and I still have a lot of stories left to read, so this is going to be a long video of lots of stories. The first one is going to be The Turnip by Jan Brett. This might be one that you've read before. I think we might have read it at school before. Let's see. Badger Girl was weeding the vegetable patch when she saw something strange growing in the garden. These are such beautiful pictures. It was the biggest turnip she had ever seen. Turnip soup, turnip pie, Badger Girl said. How delicious. That is a large turnip. I wonder if any of you have ever eaten turnips. You have to ask your mom and dad if that's something that you've had before. One autumn morning, the air turned chilly. It was time to pick the vegetables and pull up the giant turnip. But when Badger Girl got to the giant turnip, she could not pull it up. Look at her pulling and pulling. She might need some help. Let me help, Badger Boy offered. Hang on to me and my strong arms will pull it right out. They tugged and tugged, but the turnip stayed in place. That is a big turnip. Have you ever tried to pull up something out of the ground? It's kind of hard. It's really in there. Strong roots have it stuck right in the ground. Children, Mother Badger called, I can wrench that turnip out with a twist and a snap. Watch and learn. But the turnip remained firmly rooted. Father Badger ambled over. You'll see how easy it is when I take over, he chortled. Nothing happened. They're all pulling on that turnip and it is still stuck. A snowflake fell from the sky, then another and another. Once the earth froze, they wouldn't get the turnip out until spring. Oh my, they better hurry. Hedgie was fond of roast turnip. I know what to do, he said. I'll stick my prickles into the turnip. We'll all hold hands and give it the heave-ho. But the turnip didn't heave or hoe. Hedgie the hedgehog. He's a cute guy. Mr. Ram, on his way back to town, smiled smugly. You country bumpkins don't have the right equipment. I'll hook it with my horns. Pull! 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 But the turnip didn't budge. Vanya, the horse, stopped by. I am mighty strong, he whinnied. Hitch my harness to that tasty turnip, and we'll be eating it mashed and salted before it gets dark. The harness jangled, but when all was settled, the giant turnip was still in the ground. There's a lot of people pulling on that turnip to get it out. Well, they're not people, they're animals. A lot of animals pulling on that turnip to get it out, and it's still stuck. A cocky little rooster had been watching all along. He had just had a close call with a cooking pot and was looking for a new place to live. Uh-oh. Rooster strutted over. Make room, he crowed. He took the turnip top in his beak and pulled. Do you think he's going to get it out? Let's see. Down in their winter den, the bears found the giant turnip in their bed. Up and away, they shouted. That's the bottom of the turnip that's all on the ground. It's down in the bear's den. The turnip flew out of the ground with the rooster riding high. So now that rooster thinks that he pulled the turnip right out of the ground. But really, the bears pushed it out. That's funny. Time for turnip pancakes, browned in butter for all, Mother Badger sang out, waving her frying pan. And look, that turnip is so big, they have a saw to cut it. A saw like they used to saw down a tree. They have to use that on their turnip because it's giant. Badger Girl put out their best yellow chair for Rooster. Look at it. Soon the sizzling, crispy turnip pancakes were ready. That sounds delicious. Rooster, you are invited to stay with us as long as you wish, Father Badger announced. After all, when would we ever meet such a useful fellow again? And now they're all having turnip pancakes. The end. Hey guys, it's me, Miss Misty. I am out at the park at this super cool playground that nobody's allowed to play on right now. But I wanted to do my book video at this park because they have these cool, this cool bird. There's a blue bird and a red bird and this cool worm that they have here. This is the Joiner Park in Lake Forest. Maybe you guys can check it out when the park comes back up. It's a cool place to play. But anyway, I wanted to read my book here because my book is about this is the nest that Robin built. And I thought it would be fun to read it next to this bird. But I think I need to move my camera in a little bit closer. Hold on. Let's see. How is that? That might work. This is the nest that Robin built. This is the squirrel who trimmed the twigs, not too big, that anchor the nest that Robin built. This is the dog who brought the string long and strong that wraps around the twigs, not too big, that anchor the nest that Robin built. This is the horse who shared his straw, rough and tough, that covers the string, long and strong, that wraps around the twigs, not too big, that anchor the nest that Robin built. I'm going to move my camera in a little bit closer. This is the pig who mixed the mud, soft, not soupy, that plasters the straw, rough and tough, that covers the string, long and strong, that wraps around the twigs, not too big, that anchor the nest that Robin built. This is the mouse who gathered the weeds, dotted with seeds, that binds the mud, soft, not soupy, that plasters the straw, rough and tough, that covers the string, long and strong, that wraps around the twigs, not too big, that anchor the nest that Robin built. It's taken a lot of friends to help build that nest. This is the rabbit who picked the grass, fresh and sweet, that cushions the weeds, dotted with seeds, that binds the mud, soft, not soupy, that plasters the straw, rough and tough, that covers the string, long and strong, that wraps around the twigs, not too big, that anchored the nest that Robin built. These are the eggs, brittle and blue, that lay on the grass, fresh and sweet, that cushions the weeds, dotted with seeds, that bind the mud, soft, not soupy, that plasters the straw, rough and tough, that covers the string, long and strong, that wraps around the twigs, not too big, that anchors the nest that Robin built. Those beautiful blue robin eggs. I didn't know robin's eggs were blue. Oh yes, I did. Robin egg blue. That's a color, like a crayon color. These are the nestlings, tuft and pink, that crack the eggs, brittle and blue, that lay on the grass, fresh and sweet, that cushions the weeds, dotted with seeds, that bind the mud, soft, not soupy, that plasters the straw, rough and tough, that covers the string, long and strong, that wraps around the twigs, not too big, the anchor at the nest that Robin built. They are ready for some food. And this is the robin who built the nest. Oh, look, this page opens up. Anchored with twigs, not too big, plastered with mud, soft, not soupy, wrapped with string, long and strong, bound with weeds, dotted with seeds, covered with straw, rough and tough, cushioned with grass, fresh and sweet, who laid the eggs, brittle and blue, cracked by nestlings, tuft and pink. Let's see if I can get this in here to show you all those pictures. Now young fledglings, rumpled and ruffled and ready to fly. Look at them, they're not tiny little babies anymore. Fledglings. Good. Oh, look, he's flying. They're learning to fly. Bye. Oh, goodbye. Goodbye, little birds. Goodbye, babies. The end. And look, I guess that's a robin egg blue sky up there. Hey guys, it's Miss Misty. I'm coming to you from outside my house, and I've got a couple more stories to read, but I came out here to this spot because right back in the back behind me, there's a little white speck. That is a white peacock that likes to hang out in my yard. I'm going to see if I can. I didn't want to get too close to it because then it'll run away. Let's see. Wanted you guys to be able to see it. Sitting back there. Oh, it's looking right this way too. Hey, Peacock. It'd be really cool if it makes this crazy peacock noise right now. That'd be awesome. But maybe not. Maybe he'll come closer this way while I read. Possibly. We'll see. Might be walking away. There's also some kitty cat friends out here with me. Maybe you get to see them in the story too. Okay. I have 2 books, and I'm going to start with this one, Dirty Gertie. Since I'm outside, I felt like it was appropriate. The peacock is walking away. Might see the peacock come out on this side. You might watch her. She might fly right over that fence if she walks over there. Let's see. Oh no, she's just behind me. Keep an eye out over my shoulder to see if she flies up over that fence though. Or who knows, you might see a chicken come fly up over the fence anytime now. You never know what's going to happen around here. Okay, Dirty Gert. She is very dirty. There's some little worms in the front on this page right here. And one says, when is she coming out to play? The other one said, I don't know. And then one said, soon, I hope. I must like playing with her because she likes to get so dirty. Little Gert loved eating dirt. The worms all idolized her. I guess because they like to eat dirt too. She is so cool. My hero. They're all eating dirt together. Peacock is trying to sneak up on me. Oh, look. She's getting so close. Look, there she is. Do you see her going by right behind that tree? I wonder if she's going to fly up over the fence. She is. She's getting ready to. Watch her. There she goes. Look at her up there. Isn't she beautiful? You hear that sound in the background? That was the male peacock or the boy peacock, and he was calling her. Maybe she's going to go over there and say, hey, what do you want? Okay, bye, peacock. That was cool. But how did she first get to be a soil internalizer? Internalizer, that means something you take inside of you. She has good taste. Way back when Gert was just a squirt, the earth would tantalize her. Ooh, lots of good vocabulary words in this book. Tantalizing. Who is she? Says that little worm. What's she doing? I hope she's not going fishing. Those worms don't want to be fishing bait. She rolled in it. She dug in it. Look at her go. She tasted it. Didn't even spit it out. It seemed to energize her. You see any fishing poles? Look, he's hiding down there. She's amazing. Pages are sticky. Mom and Dad did not get mad. They simply supervised her. I guess she's not going fishing. As years went by, they'd try and try, but could not civilize her. They said, hold up your pinky like this. So she is holding up her pinky with her muddy teacup. Just like when we had our tea party. We said, pinky's out when you're drinking your tea. And then one day she went to play when no one was the wiser. A rainstorm hit and quickly it completely moisturized her. Moisturize. She made mud pies with dirt French fries, her favorite appetizer. I like mud soup. Look at all that muddy mud she is playing in. I bet some of you really like to play in the mud. When I was a kid, I did not like to play in the mud. I did not like to get dirty. Can't turn these pages. She burbled, she gurgled, and she sprouted, and she shouted. Her food reorganized her. Reorganized her. Oh, look at her fingers. They look like leaves. Is she turning into a plant? Quite soon, she found herself root-bound. It happily surprised her. Get your tail out of the way. Out came the sun. Oh, wow, what fun. It photosynthesized her. Go get Granny. She's got to see this, that little worm says down there. Move your tail. She really did turn into a plant. Ruby May came out to play, but didn't recognize her. The neighbors thought that someone ought to scrub and sanitize her. She does look dirty. Again, these sticky pages. Her brother Matt decided that he needed to disguise her. Her best friend Dwight thought that he might at least deodorize her. That worm says, I think she smells nice. But she smells like dirt. Worms love that. The local news sent camera crews. They filmed and televised her. The lawyers called. They were appalled. No one had legalized her. Zoologists and botanists and doctors analyzed her. Then Hollywood said, Gert is good. We must immortalize her. Now they want to put her in a movie. Sticky pages. Soon, all the ruckus, all the fuss began to traumatize her. Oh no. First came her wilt, and then her tilt. Her fame had jeopardized her. But Mom and Dad, they're smart and true. They always knew just what to do. What do you think Mom and Dad might do? It's curious. Dad's got a shovel there. They trimmed and fertilized her. That's so silly. And look what's on her plate. Just a big plate of dirt. Delicious. Oh, look. She's in a pot. And that little worm says, it's nice in the house. So I just dug her up and brought her in, put her in a pot. What a crazy, silly story. Okay, I've got one more story to read, but I need to put a pause for one moment. Okay, I've got one more story to read out here, and it's called Truck Full of Ducks. Do you hear that clacking? Quack, 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 quack. Maybe my ducks will make an appearance. Let me see if I can turn the camera around a little bit and let you guys see them. There's my ducks. Oh, and a chicken. Maybe they'll come this way. They usually like to come drink water out of the bird bath that's behind me, so we'll see what they do. Let's see. Okay, truck full of ducks. Just a little bit more. I've read this book before, and it is funny. Thanks for calling Trucks Full of Ducks. We'll be right there. He has on his note, says, 1 truck full of ducks delivered to, and he's writing down an address. Who would order a truck full of ducks? I mean, I might, but normal people wouldn't. Look at all those ducks. Munch, munch, munch. Oh no, the directions. Don't worry, ducks. We'll find the customer. What's happened to the directions? Someone's eating them? That duck is eating the directions. Did you call for a truck full of ducks? No, not me. I called for a mail truck. 1 brother, please mail very far away. Oh, and there comes the mail truck. Thank goodness she can get her mail out. Did you call for a truck full of ducks? Duck truck? Not me, buddy. I called for a dump truck. He's jackhammering, so he's all shaky. And there comes his dump truck. Hey, did you call for a truck full of ducks? No, dude, not us. We called for an ice cream truck. Ice cream. Called for a truck full of ducks. Now all those ducks are eating ice cream. That is so silly. I don't know if ducks like ice cream. You know what they do like? Yogurt. Did you call for a truck full of ducks? It wasn't me, matey. I called for a truck full of crackers, not quackers. He's a pirate. And now this truck's coming in. Polly's Crackers. Did you call for a truck full of ducks? Sorry, Earthling. I called for a tow truck. His UFO is broken down. 30,000 light years away, huh? This is gonna cost you. It's gonna be an expensive tow truck for that alien guy. Who called for a truck full of ducks? There's a sign that says, you're in luck. Last potty for miles. Need a potty break while you're transferring ducks. Hurry up, ducks. They all had to go potty. Back in the truck. The clock is ticking. What happened to that guy? Silly ducks. Did you call for a truck full of ducks? Hey, Walter. No more ducks. I called for a duck removal truck. He already had too many ducks he needed to get rid of. Did anyone call for a truck full of ducks? dark woods. Did you say truck full of ducks? That was me. Over here, look, all these signs say, dead end, caution, scary way, no Wi-Fi. And the mailbox says, hungry fox. Those ducks should not go there. Okay, ducks, out of the truck. See, I told you not to worry. They all look pretty worried. Perfect timing. My dinner is over. Time for my bath. Aw, he just wanted ducks in his bathtub. He wasn't gonna eat them. So silly. All those ducks are having a fun time now. So that one, he still looks a little afraid. He still looks like he might get eaten. Bath time gig stand? You know it, Frank. This is a van full of toucans. When you need toucans, we can. We can. Ah, that's silly. A van full of toucans. But there should be a boat full of goats. That'd be awesome. Okay, that's my stories for outside right now. I'll come back to you with some more soon. Hi friends, good morning. I am out at the lake at Blue Jay County Park. We're walking on the trails in the forest, which is one of my favorite things to do, one of my favorite places in Raleigh to be. I thought this would be a good time to read you some cool books about nature, since I'm out in nature. And I have 2 books, and I have another book about robins, like the one that I read yesterday. It's called A Round of Robins. It looks cute. And stars, you might remember this book, Most of the Better Natural Things in the World. Do you remember this book? We started reading it, and we didn't get to quite get finished with it, but I did finish it with some of you, but I don't think everybody got to see it, so I thought it would be a good time to read this one again. Let's see. I think I'm going to start with A Round of Robins, and then we'll finish up with that one. And since I am at the lake, you might hear a boat go by. I'll pause if it's loud. A Round of Robins. Cheerio, 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 cheerio. Turf tune. Defender Dad sings, back away, 'cause Mom and I are here to stay. We'll raise a brood, and when we're done, we just might hatch another one. Those robins are saying, this is our tree. Telling all those little guys to go away. This is our spot. Home sweet home. Mama is an architect. With skill and patience, she'll collect bits of twigs, string, wool, and hair to form a tiny, twiny layer. Sweet soft grass lined Mama's bowl. A muddy middle keeps it whole. Remember yesterday in the other book it was talking about mud too? In the nest that Robin built? It's guaranteed a perfect fit, so all she has to do is sit. I wonder how they get that mud in there. Exercises. There is too few. Mama adds more. Now it's just right. 1 clutch of 4. There's 4 little robin's eggs in there. Red hot Mama. A heater hides on Mama's chest to warm each egg inside her nest. With sensors set at incubate, in just a dozen days she'll make 4 little ones all set to hatch. See her little red chest? That's where she warms up her eggs. An up and coming birdie batch. In just 12 days? That's such a short time. I didn't know that. Inside job. Head and tail, beak and feather, closely cramped all together. Yolk is gone, space is tight. Pack it in, 1 more night. Look at those birds inside of the eggshell. That's what they look like, all scrunched up in the eggshell. Welcome to the world. Pip, pip, an eggshell chip. Peck, peck, a bright blue fleck. Tweak, tweak, a peeking beak. And that's how the eggs hatch out of the shell, or the birds hatch out of the eggshell. Their little beak and their egg tooth. Cracked, all unpacked. Full house. Beaks wide open, eyes closed tight. Wobble, bobble, heads upright. Patchy bodies, missing feathers. Huddle, cuddle, close together. Every birdie sleeps. Mama's feathers dim the light. Drowsy darlings snuggle tight. Balmy breezes rustle tree. Babies slumber blissfully. See them there in the little nest in the crook of the tree, all sleeping in there. Food fight. Jumble, jostle, rumble, squirm. Dad has landed with a worm. Game of tug of war begins. Biggest bossy baby wins. Fighting over that worm. Almost a fledgling. Remember we heard that word yesterday in the other Robin book as well. Fledgling. Sleeping, eating, then repeating. Heading in the right direction. Changing, growing, and it's showing. Now they're fluffs of plump perfection. Look at those cute little fat birds. Pop Patrol. A high-speed chase is underway. Dad swoops, then strikes. He'll make them pay. To crows and jays, Dad sends a shout. Invade my space, I'll bounce you out. Does not want those other birds near his baby's nest. Just wing it. Beaks reach to sky. Wings flap, try. 1, 2, 3, fly. I think learning to fly would be a scary thing if you were a baby bird. Fledgling fill up. Wiggle, whip, squiggle, slip. Wobble, sup, gobble up. Worms. Yum. Dirty Gert would like to play with those birds, wouldn't she? Pool party. Speckled plumpies thrash about. Hopping, plopping in and out. Basking in a birdie pool. Sorry, sparrows. Robins rule. Earning their wings. Fledgling spots are fading fast. Baby days have quickly passed. Romping robins roam the lawn, hunting till the worms are gone. Zipping through the hood in flight, roosting with their flock at night. On their own, they'll be all right. They're like all grown up already. Here they grow again. Empty nesters? Not so soon. Dad retweets his tough turf tune. Mama builds her second layer, plucks and tucks, and with utmost care. Eggs? You bet. She lays 4 more. Turquoise blue just like before. Then in just a dozen days, welcome to the world replays. So now she made another nest and laid 4 more eggs, and now she's got more babies in just 12 days. That's so fast. I had no idea. That is the end. Reading about that and reading about these babies reminded me of something that just happened to me here in the forest. I was walking along the trail and minding my own business, and I walked around a curve, and right on the side of the trail something started moving really fast, and I didn't know what it was, and I at first thought it was a squirrel because there's lots of squirrels in the forest, but then when I saw it, it was kind of brown and spotted, and then I thought, it's not a squirrel, it's a rabbit. But then it was too big for a rabbit, and then I realized it was the tiniest little baby deer, and it still had all of its spots on it, and it was, seriously, it was like this big. It was so tiny. And I had just seen just before that, just like 30 seconds before that, a mommy deer go across the trail and up into the woods looking for food. And I just read an article from the park the other day about how the mommies will leave the babies during the day and go off to find food, and then at night they'll come back in the early morning, and then later in the night they'll come back and get the babies and go with them and move to different places for the babies to eat. So that's what that was happening. The mommy had left the baby there, but it was right on the side of the trail. That wasn't the safest place for it. So the baby started freaking out and running and jumping and trying to get away. And then the mommy heard the baby, and so then the mommy started freaking out and was running towards me because I was where the baby was, which then made me start freaking out, and there was a lot of freaking out. But thankfully, I think everything's okay. The mommy ran down and found the baby, and it's all okay. But it was freaky. Okay, here is our next story. I think this is going to be my last story for this video. So when this one's over, that'll be the end. And this was one of my favorite books because it's just so beautiful with all of these beautiful pictures. And then we get to learn about all the different kinds of geography in the world. Most of the better natural things in the world. Okay, I remember. It's just a picture of a type of land, a place, and it just says what it's called. So this one, let me turn my camera back a little bit. Step. That's the name of this place. Let's see, I think in the back it tells me what each thing is. Oh, there's a giant fluffy dog coming, guys. A step is a wide plain covered with grass or low growth. Steppes are in places where there are hot, dry summers and short, rainy winters. A steppe. A gorge. A gorge is this place between these two mountains. Usually, if it rains a lot or there's lots of water, then water runs through the gorge like a river. And I guess that the river causes the gorge. And there's that tiger with his tiny chair on his back. A valley. A valley is also a place between two mountains. You have a mountain on one side and a mountain on the other side, and the valley will be in between the low flat part, and it's usually grassy, and that will be where you can grow a garden or where you could have a farm. Maybe you have cows or goats. A plain is a flat area. A flat land is usually might have this kind of wheat or grass growing on it. It's just flat for miles and miles. A cloud forest. Check that out. That's beautiful. And a cloud forest is like a rainforest, I suppose. Let me go back to the back and see what it says about the cloud forest. A moist, always green forest constantly covered by clouds of fog. Most cloud forests are in Central America, but they can also be found in South America, Africa, Southeast Asia, and the Caribbean. So like a rainforest, but in the clouds. Fjord. What does it look like there? Does it look like it's warm or cold there? Looks pretty cold. Let me go back to the back and see what it says about a fjord. A long, narrow inlet of the sea in between frozen, icy cliffs. Norway is known for its beautiful and plentiful fjords. There's the sea running between the frozen, icy cliffs. An atoll. Look how beautiful that is. Looks very tropical. There's his chair floating away. Oh no, catch your chair. Let's see what it says about atoll. A circle-shaped coral reef or group of islands that surround a lagoon. Cool. Atoll. archipelago. That is a group of tiny islands. See all the little islands in the ocean? That is an archipelago. Now that tiger is in a boat with his chair. Rowing across. Is he gonna row across the whole ocean? Oh, now he's in an estuary. Estuary. Let me see what it says about that. I don't know how to describe that. An area where a river or stream carrying fresh water meets the saltwater ocean. I bet Miss Karen knew that. Many fish, birds, crabs, and other creatures live in or near estuaries. So he rowed across the ocean where it's salt water into the mouth of a river where it's fresh water, and that's the estuary. Oasis. Look at that beautiful picture. What is that in the whole picture? It's the tiger's eye. It's the reflection of what he's looking at in his eye. That is so pretty. An oasis. Let's see what that says. A green, moist area in the middle of the desert. Water is found in an oasis, so it's sometimes called a watering hole. Cool. Oasis. Lagoon. Look how pink that is. I wonder if lagoons are always pink. What do you think? Maybe it's just because it's sunset. Let's see what it says about lagoon. A large area of calm seawater. Lagoons are always close to or led to by bigger bodies of water like oceans or bays, but are separated from them by things like barrier islands, low sandbanks, or coral reefs. I was in a lagoon one time when I went to the Bahamas, and we got to go out onto a beach, and there was rocks all around the beach and the water, and so that made a lagoon. Alpine Lake. Look at that. Lake up in the snowy Alpine Mountains. That is beautiful. Did you hear that boat go by? Oh, look at the little llamas. Or maybe alpacas. See them down there? They're so cute. Oh, I don't even know how to say this word. Chaparral? Maybe? It's beautiful. Looks like a beautiful flower garden. I'm gonna have to look that up and see what that is. A group of shrubby bushes that are fit for dry summers and moist winters. Chaparrals are home to many animals like jackrabbits, coyotes, mule deer, and alligator lizards. Alligator lizards. I don't see an alligator lizard in this picture. I do see something right there though. Look at its tail. It's walking right out of the picture. I wonder what that is. This is a big picture. Foothills. Let me see if I can open it up. Oh, that says Vista. Oh, look at that. How beautiful. And foothills are like small mountains near the mountains. Before you get into the mountains, it starts to get hilly. That's the foothills. Here is a vista. And I believe, I want to say vista is just this big open area that you can see. Let me look back and see what it says about vista and foothills. Let's see. Foothills are a range of small hills at the foot of a mountain, and they have lots of mammals like mountain lions, bobcats, coyotes, and skunks. Ew. And a vista is a view that is usually dramatic in scope. Often, a vista is established viewing spot from the top of a mountain. So if you go up on top of a mountain and you look out and everything you can see, that is the vista. What a beautiful view. Badlands. Ooh, this looks like something that I remember from the Lion King movie, the Badlands. Let's see what it says about that. A region with limited vegetation and uniquely formed rough hills. Badlands are mostly found in the United States in southwestern South Dakota and northwestern Nebraska. So it's a lot of ground with nothing growing on it and a lot of rocks that have been blown by the sand is blown and the wind is blown, and it's made these cool rock formations. Badlands. The tundra. Ooh, look at that up in the sky. What does that look like in the sky? That looks like the northern lights to me. Let's see what that says. Tundra. A flat area without trees that consists of mostly mosses, lichens, herbs, and dwarf shrubs. Tundras exist in the frozen subsoil parts of North America, Asia, Europe, and the Arctic. The tundra. It's so pretty. It says without trees, but there are a couple of trees in there. Dunes. Everybody knows what dunes are, right? Sand dunes. Could be like mountains of sand or hills of sand. That is dunes. And there he still is, carrying his chair on his back. A ridge. Look, he's in the mountains again. A ridge is like the edge of the mountains that goes around the mountains. A ridge. There's a cute little mouse. I think that mouse has been on every page. Gulch. Oh, I don't see a mouse on this page. Looks kind of dark and scary in there. He looks a little concerned, a bit apprehensive. Let's see what it says about a gulch. A narrow ravine with steep sides surrounding a fast-moving stream. A gulch. That's kind of like the one that we saw earlier. Let's see. Step. Gorge. The gorge and the gulch. Those are kind of the same. Glacier. Look at that. Icy. It's like an ice mountain. That's a glacier. A giant piece of ice. Isthmus. That's a hard word to say. And I'm going to have to look at that because I don't really know how to describe that at all. Isthmus, a long, narrow strip of land that connects two bigger land masses that are separated by water. Oh, so see, there's land on this side, and there's land over here on this side, and there's water in between, but there's this land bridge that goes to connect the two big pieces of land. That's cool. And the Taiga. Look, he's home to his family with his chair. He finally made it. He's traveled through the whole world, it seems. The Taiga. That's a place that kind of sounds like tiger. Let's read and see what that says. Taiga is a swampy forest usually found in the northern parts of the globe, between tundras and steppes. The taiga is home to billions of trees and makes up one of the world's largest biomes. Look at that. There he is with his family, finally home. And they all have their little yellow chairs. And that is the end of the book. Yep. The end. That tells all of the glossary of words. I had such a fun time reading with you guys. I miss everybody, and I hope to see you soon. Bye.